let's just roll here today. We're doing, actually, the Club of Rome today. I'm not sure if you know what that means, but it means we're probably in Italy. But I'm tired. It's been a long week, and I really don't care how I'm doing this intro today. So this is as good as it gets. Today is the 8th installment and the final installment of our Secret Societies. It's episode 24, the Club of Rome. Somebody just hit the button.
Dice Man Enterprises exclusively presents a talk show that will get to the bottom of things once and for all. And now here's your host for Let's Get to the Bottom of That. Three weirdos on a mic.
Somebody talk to me.
That was good.
Dude, you made it work.
Did it work?
You made it work.
We'll find out from the audience for
Off
real.
the cuff, that was really good.
Yep.
I'm kind of punchy, tired. Nobody knows this, but we record when we can on this. Usually we record on the Saturdays, but we have moved it. So
Yep.
this is the end of a work day. So we're going to try to get through this. Hopefully I'm not too tired and punchy. I know he said we're going to have to. Mike's going to carry the show.
We'll see.
I'm just going to say that right now.
Strong shoulders.
Today is the Club of Rome. Last week we dropped the Templars.
Yep.
That's doing very well. This week, see, I'm already messing up because I think I'm going to drop Skull and Bones. It hadn't dropped yet, but Skull and Bones is coming out.
2 days?
Yeah, but when we record this, it's already released.
Yeah, by the time
so
you
I'm
hear
done.
this, it's out.
My brain just went into a time machine.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah.
It's
I'm
all,
going to drink some coffee.
It's all going really well.
Time.
Yep. All right.
Can you believe the...
What is time?
what is time? Can you believe what's that pipeline called? The Nord Stream?
Nord Stream?
The Nord Stream
Yeah.
that Biden blew up.
Yes. Yep.
Can you believe what's so funny?
That he keeps on dismantling America.
Why? I don't get the end game for that.
For him, like his agenda with
Well,
America, or just that?
Well, why did you blow that up?
Oh, we should totally talk about that on our Down the Rabbit Hole one, because
We should.
I read that Seymour Hersh Substack article where he you
Yes.
shared that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, where he just goes deep on it. We're the only ones that really had any sort of motive there when you get into it. The mainstream narrative of like Russia doing it, like Russia destroying their own pipeline.
That's ridiculous.
When they could have simply just turned it off. It's their pipeline.
Yeah.
Why would I blow it up when I could just turn the knob? Right.
No, that was that natural gas?
Didn't they want to show? Didn't they want it to be shown that it was their enemies doing that, so it didn't seem, so they can stir up the pot more?
Oh, that Russia would do that?
Yeah.
That it was Russia's enemies that did that? Who's Russia's enemy? Us?
Everybody.
That it was us that did it?
Yeah. Or
okay.
I don't know.
You talking about Ukraine? Yeah.
Yes.
China.
Yeah. There you go.
China.
Oh, that China did it?
No,
I don't
Ukraine.
know. I don't understand that whole thing. I don't get.
Yeah,
Like, why did you blow that up? What were you trying to implicate? And what did you stop? Didn't you hindered? Where did that pipeline go? It was under sea? What sea was it under? I don't even know. The Black Sea?
I don't know the name of
The
the
Baltic Sea?
but it took it to Germany, right? So
The Germans are out of natural gas?
Germany is in a really tough spot when it comes to their energy sector, from what I've heard. So in that Seymour Hersh article, it talks about like the United States having concern about the relationship between Germany and Russia, like Germany not being willing to like go along with us against Russia if we needed them to because of that energy relationship that they had.
Yeah, they're too dependent.
Yeah. So,
But isn't the whole European Union still so dependent on Russia?
I know a lot of people are, and Russia apparently supplies potash to a lot of different places, which is like fertilizer.
Potash?
Yeah, it's like fertilizer.
Oh, thought that was a meal at Zaxby's.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So yeah, that's what I know about it right now. But
maybe I'll research that some more, and we'll talk about that on Down the Rabbit Hole.
we should. That's an interesting topic for sure.
Which is actually coming up after this episode. When we drop this episode, it'll be actually, guys. this is the 8th installment of the secret societies. And I think the ones that we've covered, I think these are like the very top. There are so many secret societies out there that we haven't even touched.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the Order of the Rosy Cross.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude.
That's not a real
Yeah,
thing.
dude. They
It
made,
is.
They made the Georgia Guidestones, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
And then there's the Club of Malta.
Yeah. Club of Vienna as well.
Yeah.
Yep. There's
There's so many, but I think the ones that we've hit are very high level, and all the other ones probably stem from these. So I think we've done a good job covering these. I
Scouts.
did get another comment on Instagram from our friend Stacy. She said every time she just listened to the Templars. She said this is my favorite series, and they just keep getting better.
Whoa, okay.
So that was a nice shout out to us on Instagram.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy.
Well, today is our final installment of the Secret Society. Today is Club of Rome, which, be honest with you, I don't know much about. Other than Rome is in Italy.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And Rome was the people that crucified Jesus.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it was the nails.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
I mean, the Romans
it was his
crucified people. That was the thing they did.
Yeah, but it was his own people that got him.
Well, they said, "Hey, crucify." Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Hey, I want you to do this, but use your equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe we're here. We're on the 8th and final installment of Secret Societies.
Yeah,
It's flown by.
it has.
It really has. Yeah.
I need to go back and listen to some of the stuff that we've covered
Do it.
just to get a refresher.
We should do
Because there's some stuff that was just very dark, and
Yeah, go back and listen to that Illuminati episode.
my gosh,
Mike just.
Yeah, you'll have a nightmare reliving that.
I'm serious. Between the blood drinking,
Blood suckers.
and then we're coming up on the skull and bones, the
Yep.
coffin masturbation. It's just weird, dude.
It's just too weird. It's really dark stuff.
And did y'all see Rihanna? She threw it up.
She did do the triangle, right?
You know what? When I was because I watched it live, I didn't even notice that
I didn't
until
people talked about it
after
afterward.
I don't know why I missed it.
That's the symbol. I thought that.
Yeah,
was,
they come up with this triangle.
I thought it
thing.
was from Dallas Diamond Page from wrestling. The Diamond.
Oh yeah, that too.
That too.
Yep.
Maybe he started it.
Maybe he did.
Yeah, it always seems like there's someone paying really close attention because I didn't notice it live, but I did see some stuff on the internet afterward
Yeah.
where they noticed some things.
Did you see the one meme where her hair was coming down in front of her face, and they put the clown from It,
Oh yeah.
Pennywise, beside her, and he's got those streaks down that look just like her.
Wow.
Scary movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
Did you see the new ones?
Yeah.
I did.
Yes.
They made it a lot scarier.
Man, I couldn't watch after the first one. I was like,
I mean, you get drugged down a drainage thing, forget about it,
You
dude.
couldn't watch it after the kid got his
I
arm
couldn't
ripped
do
off.
it. I couldn't do it.
That's
Where I draw the line. Yeah, I've seen enough.
Yeah.
I don't need to see
I'm going to
more.
watch Twister.
I actually thought the old one was scarier, but I might be like, reminiscing because
No, it was creepier,
It was.
It was very creepy.
but this was more sadistic.
It was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's a good label for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was.
I think the
creepier.
first one was like a scarier Goonies.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was kids. Let's try to take this thing out in the.
It was still scary. Like,
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
no doubt.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep. Well, I remember me and my brother and my two other cousins. We stay up, and that's the show to watch. And we'd stay up, and we'd be creeped out. We're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like little beta little kids.
Yeah.
For real.
Yep. All right.
Well, Club of Rome.
Club of Rome, guys.
Where do we start?
We're ending with a bang here. So
Looks like we're starting in 1968.
we're starting in 1968 because that's when it was founded. And
Relatively new.
relatively.
Wow,
new.
that's when I was born.
Yeah.
68.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Whose phone is that?
I don't know.
It's not mine. It's your new phone. By the way, Jason got a new phone. He doesn't know how to operate it. Wait, he's got two phones. Is that your burner?
It's a long story.
It's his burner
Dude,
phone.
he's a double agent.
It's a long story.
Okay, anyway, 68.
Yes.
This show is rocking.
It is. So founded in 1968 by Aurelio Peccei, Alexander
okay.
King, and our boy David
Rockefeller.
I feel like when you go back and listen to this series, it's just Rockefeller.
Every time.
Yeah. Dude, he's industrious. He he has accomplished so much. He gets so much done, setting up all this stuff.
I don't get it.
It's revolutionary.
Yep. So, although it's a part of our Secret Society series, the Club of Rome is, just another well-funded, non-governmental organization, NGO.
Sorry, guys.
Along the lines of the Council of Foreign Relations and the Bilderberg Group.
What?
And the Trilateral Commission, all these NGOs, right?
Okay, gotcha.
So all these really well-funded NGOs, not so much a secret society, but maybe what they're trying to get done could be considered, secret society. That better not chime again.
I don't know how to work this.
Let me see that. Is that the 23?
No, this is...
Oh, wait, that's an apple.
Yeah,
Do you have an apple?
This is...
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a thing on the side. You can mute it.
Yeah, I did it. I just did it.
Okay, gotcha. That should take care of it.
Mine's muted.
Yeah, no, they left their lit in my pocket. And when I was driving there, they said, "Oh, you got that."
That's amazing. Somebody slipped a phone in his pocket to track him here.
Yep.
That's what happened.
But I knew they were doing that beforehand, so it was okay.
So let's talk about the Club of Rome and what their objectives are, okay?
All right, what?
So what the Club of Rome is, think of it like this. It is a crisis think tank, okay? They come up with crises. And
Are you serious?
And the main purpose of it being to formulate a crisis to unite the world and condition us to the idea of global solutions for local problems, okay?
Have we had something
What
like
does that
happen
mean?
to us lately?
A crisis?
Yeah.
I can think of a crisis that happened in 2020.
COVID?
Yep. So that's a great
So this
that's a
could-
great example.
Right,
And-
okay, yeah.
And when you're
And we're getting banned.
when you're on the
And we're getting banned.
when you're on the
Thank you,
internet
Rumble.
and you search for Club of Rome, that is one of the things that comes up because of what they are known as being a crisis think tank. Anytime there's a global crisis or something and a global solution proposed, people think that the Club of Rome is behind it in some way.
Okay.
So what you just said makes
So
complete and total sense.
if they're like, and I'm going to ask a lot of questions,
I'll try and answer.
and I'm going to say, so I'm going to be the question guy today. So since we're talking about, they're like the Bilderberg and the Trilateral Commission, do they have annual meetings like the Berg Group?
Yeah, dude. So they have, I don't know if it's like annual the same way that the Bilderberg Group is, but they have a lot of meetings and they're affiliated with a lot of different, what do you call it? Environmental panels and stuff like that. So like an example is they're really in bed with like the IPCC, the International Panel on Climate Change.
Oh,
A
gosh.
lot of Club of Rome guys in there.
Greta Thunberg. Or what's her name?
Thunberg.
Greta
Yeah.
Yep. Greta.
What was
Al
that?
Gore,
What's that
all
thing
these-
that they just they were just at?
What do you mean?
That meeting they were just at was the economic forum.
The World Economic Forum?
Yeah, she
Those-
was there.
Yep.
Brian Stelter was there. You think the Club of Rome was there?
Yeah, they're installed there.
Okay.
For
What?
sure. Brian, that guy.
That
Yeah.
guy, Potato Head.
Doesn't it make you sleep better at night knowing that we have Brian Stelter out
Yeah.
there?
Talking about disinformation.
Yeah, talking about misinformation and disinformation. Yeah, that guy is just something else.
What a clown.
Clown News Network.
So let's talk about their most popular publication. It's called The Limits to Growth. This is kind of like where the Club of Rome entered the stage.
Okay.
It was based on the work of MIT researcher Jay Forrester, and it was published in 1972. And it's important to point out the work that it was based on was a computer model. You guys might remember our 9/11 episode where we talked about computer models and
Yes.
why they're very often not a reliable source of information. But going onward here, the book examined the global industrialization process and how it relates to all of the environmental and social constraints. What does that mean? So
Yeah.
the
Tell
limits
me.
the limits to growth, it looks at 5 main variables. That's what they call the limits. Population, agricultural production, natural resources, industrial production, and pollution. So it was looking at those 5 main things in this book. And essentially what the takeaways from it is it was making the argument that as population increases, we're going to blow through all the natural resources at an ever-increasing rate while producing more and more pollution. And then at a certain point, there will be so much pollution and less food that it will start to kill people, bringing the population crashing back down, reducing industrial production capacity, devastating the economy, and bringing us to a point where life will basically cease to exist.
What's the end? What's the end game? Just total global destruction?
The end game of what?
Well,
why
I
would
mean,
they wanna
like
do
you
that?
said, there's a certain point there'll be so much pollution and less food, it will start to kill people. So the pollution will kill people, and they'll have less food. That will kill people.
So the end game here is the catastrophe on the horizon, and we are here to save the day. So give us the power. That's the end game.
But they push these
Devastating
ideas.
the economy.
They push them.
Yeah.
So they can save the day.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Basically.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But for what? But just
to set up what they're trying to set up.
Oh, okay.
Which we'll get into that.
Gotcha.
Because they had a follow up to the Limits of Growth. So like I mentioned, this was published in 1972, and it has a ton of criticism. You know, they predicted a lot of things that were completely wrong. I think they made some claims about peak oil, which you guys have heard of peak oil, right? Like basically like where basically right, we won't have any more oil basically.
Oh, okay. We're going to run out one day.
Yeah.
All the resources will be gone.
So their projections on certain things have been wildly inaccurate.
Is that true though?
What?
I mean, is there fossil fuels? Could we deplete it one day?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's finite to some extent, right? But
because it's not produced, right? Because it takes millions of years.
Yeah, or fracking. Fracking is one way.
Yeah.
So you've heard of that. That's a way that you can basically, I don't know the whole process of it, but I know that fracking is like a way that, can increase our
And I heard,
production.
okay, so that's a buzzword too, fracking.
Yeah, it is.
Because there's two sides of the aisle.
There is.
Like, I don't want you to do it, but I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Fracking.
Yep. That's another hot button issue.
Stop fracking around.
Yep.
Jason.
I'm for it.
Fracking?
Fill up my diesel.
Fracking.
For real.
Frack it up.
I have 3 of them.
So they published another a book called The First Global Revolution. So this is, and it had the subtitle Report by the Council of the Club of Rome.
Well, these guys aren't hiding.
They're not.
Okay.
Nope. They're very proud of what they do. And this was authored by Alexander King, which, as we mentioned just a few moments ago, he was one of the founders of the Club of Rome. And Bertrand Schneider was a co-author with him, and this was published in 1991. And what this book was intended to be is the blueprint for the 21st century, putting forward a strategy for world survival at the onset of what they called the world's first global revolution. Okay, so
That's a mouthful.
Wow.
it is. It's a mouthful, and it's scary words when you actually like read into what the book said. I have some quotes here that I'm going to read through, and I
hate to
do it.
interrupt. How much do you research? How many hours? Because I mean, you always come with fire,
Dude, like 3 to 4 to 5.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
I do it in bits. So, yeah.
Like every day, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. And and this is, some of the stuff that we talk about, I've been like on the trail for like a long time.
Yeah.
It's been on the
It's on the trail.
It's been stuff I've been interested in for a long time.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep on going.
So here are some quotes from the book, The First Global Revolution. It would seem that humans need a common motivation, namely a common adversary, to organize and act together in the vacuum. Such a motivation must be found to bring the divided nations together to face an outside enemy, either a real one or else one invented for the purpose. And I put emphasis on the one invented because they're admitting they are willing to invent one. Okay? Moving onward to a separate quote. In searching for a new enemy to unite us, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, and the like would fit the bill. All these dangers are caused by human intervention, and it is only through changed attitudes and behavior that they can be overcome. The real enemy then is humanity itself.
Wow.
So
Who made this quote? This is just in the book?
Dude, this is in the book.
Alexander King?
Alexander King, the founder of the Club of Rome. This is his book.
Wow.
We came up with the idea that pollution and the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine, all this stuff would fit the bill. So that's their new common enemy to unite us.
So he's telling us exactly.
Yeah, he's telling the quiet part out loud because these people do this in their books. Like, in Rockefeller's memoirs, like we read that in one of them, right? Where he's basically telling everything. He's like, oh, I'm guilty of, wanting to overthrow the Constitution.
Right, yeah.
Create a global government. He's like, but no one's ever going to read this, blah, blah, blah,
That's so funny.
Yeah. So, and here's another quote here, and then let's discuss these quotes. Democracy is not a panacea. It cannot organize everything, and it is unaware of its own limits. These facts must be faced squarely. Sacrilegious though it may sound, democracy is no longer well suited for the tasks ahead. The complexity and the technical nature of many of today's problems do not always allow elected representatives to make competent decisions at the right time.
Dude, this was in 91.
This is in 91. So we might agree with them on some level when they say democracy, when they're criticizing democracy, because, we're a constitutional republic.
Right.
People in New York and California, they don't live the same lives we do. We don't need them making all our decisions. But I think what he's speaking here is talking about elected governance. So he's saying that's no longer well suited for the tasks ahead. We need an unelected body to make decisions. What do you guys think?
And what would that be?
You know what? I see it and I don't.
Okay.
Because, like I always go to the quote that Benjamin Franklin always said, which I find it fascinating. He said, "The masses are asses," which is true.
Yeah.
And we put people that in these seats in Congress and our representatives that are just dumb.
Yeah.
Just dumb.
Completely dumb.
Because we're dumb.
Yeah.
Most of us are dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it is terrible the way it works out. But is it free? Free choice? More, I guess, freer than the alternative? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a quote out there, too, about just a pure democracy being two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. Have you heard that?
No, but that's, yes. No,
Oh,
I haven't.
wow.
I like it.
That's a great analogy.
Yep. Yeah.
What's for dinner?
You.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry, your vote doesn't count.
We're having...
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's funny to me is these quotes you're reading from 91. Like, you're blatantly saying this is what has to happen
Yeah.
in order for us to get where we need to be.
Yes.
But then you get up here, and I saw one of the members you had in this list was Al Gore.
Oh, yeah.
But Al Gore gets up there and acts like he really believes that the stuff he's preaching is actually true.
Sounds like Captain Planet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, did you not read this, Al? We know
He
that
must have.
we know that this is made up for an agenda.
Yep.
But he's so passionate about it.
He's incredibly passionate about it, and we can dive right into Al Gore actually, because that's an excellent segue. So Al Gore, did you guys watch An Inconvenient Truth?
I need to watch that.
No.
I've stayed away from it because
I've seen clips.
I felt it was going to be cringy.
It is amazing to go back and watch that movie. So it came out in 2006. I watched it in 2006. They showed it at my school. And
Oh no,
Yeah.
indoctrination.
yeah, so we watched it then. So Al Gore is reportedly worth over $300 million.
Wow.
Largely due to his climate change advocacy and his embrace of the alarmist position on global warming.
So he's made money
Yeah.
because of that.
Yes. So Al Gore will not show up to any debate. John Stossel has tried to get him many times to come on and just talk about, global warming and all this stuff. John Stossel is not an alarmist on climate change, global
No,
warming.
he's just
any of
after
this
the
stuff.
facts,
Right.
the truth.
Yeah. And Al Gore's never willing to do that, but he's willing to, get paid $20,000 to go do a TED Talk, $50,000 to go do a TED Talk, all this
And
stuff.
stand up in front of the Economic Forum.
Yeah.
And rant and rave.
Yeah, and rant and rave about how we have 12 years left and all this stuff.
Well, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Yeah. Yep. And in his 2006 film, An Inconvenient Truth, is basically responsible for misleading an entire generation of school children on the science of climate change.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he did. And which Gore claims is a planetary crisis requiring a planetary solution. So he's openly calling for, basically like a global government solution, basically.
Yeah, that's what we have right now.
Yeah. So we have all these things that are set up by Rockefeller, right? Like, Trilateral Commission, CFR, Club of Rome. We have like the United Nations, all these things.
The Paris Accords.
Yeah. All these, the World Economic Forum, all trying to do the same thing, basically. All tentacles of the same beast.
Wow.
All heads of the Hydra.
Didn't Trump, Hydra, didn't Trump get rid of the Paris Accords?
Yeah, he pulled us out. And then they put us back in.
Biden threw us back in?
Yeah, the first day.
Yep. So Gore is so passionate about this.
Yeah.
Because it's, lining his pockets. It's a cash cow.
See, I don't understand. That's what I don't get the economics behind. Is I always felt nonprofit or you can't profit from what you're doing if it's a nonprofit. Like I hear these things thrown around like the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, dude.
Like people donate to that. And it's like, okay, I'm just pulling money out of a vault. Like McScrooge.
Yep.
I just got tons of money and I can just pull it out when I want to because people are donating to this foundation.
Yeah. So
I'm worth this money even though it's supposed to be a nonprofit.
Yeah, I don't know how all that stuff works when you say like nonprofit, because that's a good point you had. I know that there's huge tax benefits to setting up like these foundations and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like basically it helps you avoid paying just the lion's share of taxes and stuff like that. But
I feel like it's just a way that people with a lot of money have a way to move their money around.
It would seem like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Because if you got a lot of money, and you don't want to pay taxes or something, you're just going to move it around, and it's eventually going to come back to you or whatever. Yeah. It's just a way to move your money. It's laundering money.
That's probably what it is.
They have all their money in Swiss banks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's say, for example, let's say you're starting up some climate fund or something.
Right.
Which Al Gore has done. He's set up something.
Climate fund.
Yeah. We're going to give money to, certain companies to make changes to make their carbon footprint less or whatever. That can be your mission statement.
Okay.
And then, all these college kids and people who are, passionate about environmental protection, all this
saving
stuff.
the planet.
Yeah. All the people that think they're doing good, they're throwing their money into here, and it's just like what's going on in Ukraine. We throw money over there and we don't have any idea where it's going. Probably like 1% is going where they say it is, and then the rest
Meanwhile, we get a big gated house.
Yeah. The rest is, buying Al Gore a mansion.
Right.
Flying him around on a private jet to go talk about climate change. All these things.
Right, the jet.
Yeah.
All those emissions.
And I don't know. That's the one thing I don't understand. And like you said, John Stossel would probably, hold his feet to the fire on that.
Yeah.
But he never gets in front of anybody that has to, hold him.
Seriously.
Hey, what about the jet? They never addressed that. The hypocrisy.
What about that jet that's been running this whole time that you've been here?
The jet fuel, isn't that a problem?
Turned it off.
And I feel like they're always like, well, this is the time that we're in. This is all I got.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it.
Bill Gates,
my mission.
Bill Gates said something like that, because I saw something on CNN where even
I saw that too.
Yeah, even Anderson Cooper was like, "Are you really the right person to be talking about this? Like, you fly all over the place." And then he said some really wishy-washy stupid.
He said something along the lines like, "Well, I do so much for my carbon footprint that
it makes up for it."
Yes.
Oh,
it's basically a watch. I do so much for the world that it doesn't matter what I fly. That's what he said.
Yeah.
So it's
a
wash.
Ridiculous.
His fanboys will eat that up, though. I mean, they'll be fine.
And
with
then
that
his
answer.
eyelids went back into that.
Yeah.
Lizard.
And he had the eyes were up and down.
Yeah.
The sweat eyes.
Yeah. His tongue was like divided in two.
Yeah. His human mask slipped off for a second. Yeah. So yeah, dude. So that's an interesting segue. So
wait, hold on before you go any further.
What do you got?
More on Bill Gates.
Okay.
It would make
Bill
sense
Gates.
that he actually wants to increase global warming because it would be better for his habitat.
yeah, it would. Yeah.
Lizard.
He wouldn't need a heat lamp.
That's true. Just the rock.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, keep on going.
Where is his habitat?
Bill Gates?
He's got one,
I
right?
don't know, but his
Dude,
wife took
he has a lot of habitat.
yeah.
I mean, he bought a lot of land, right?
I think he is the largest private farmland owner in the U.S. now.
And Chinese is the next one.
Yeah, up in Manhattan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild. Why would somebody say, well, I guess.
Dang,
money.
how did that happen, dude?
I don't know. I guess money.
Yeah,
I guess.
But hey, I'm going to give you $1 trillion for this piece of land.
Who are you?
Oh, by the way, I'm putting drones on here.
Yeah.
Birds.
Dude, it's crazy. It really is what's going on. But basically, it's not about the climate, okay? That's going to be our central theme here as we
It's not about the climate.
It's not about the climate.
Okay.
Right. So we're going to drill in further into that. That's going to be our thesis. So let's take another quote here from a guy named Ottmar Edenhofer.
Ottmar Edenhofer.
Yep.
Edenhofer?
Yep. So
Say it 3 times.
who is he? He is an official at the International Panel on Climate Change. Okay. And this is a quote from him. He says, climate policy has almost nothing to do anymore with environmental protection.
What?
Climate policy has almost nothing to do anymore with environmental protection.
What does that have to do with?
And then he says the next World Climate Summit in Cancun is actually an economy summit during which the redistribution of the world's resources will be discussed. So whenever we start talking about redistribution, okay, that's never a good conversation.
No.
That should sound like someone's coming to take your stuff.
That's socialism and communism.
Socialism. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and we've talked about that in our other secret societies. Socialism is a recurring theme, okay?
Yeah.
And
whatever you have, you need to share that with somebody else that has less than you.
Well, that sounds nice, though.
And I'm on paper. Yeah, it does.
It does. That's
A utopia?
That's why people will.
I think that's this generation, I guess it's the Gen Zs.
Yep.
They actually feel that way.
I mean, but
They feel entitled, like they should not have to work. Somebody else should give it to them.
But-
Seriously, I've seen them on TikTok. It's ridiculous.
But
Yeah.
to some sense, we have some kind of a social aspect, socialism aspect to
To the economy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
mean-
welfare. and
Yeah,
stuff.
Oh, the
welfare,
welfare state. That's the problem.
the police.
Yep.
The fire department. I mean, we all contribute to that.
Yep. There's like 3 different kinds of or 3 main socialisms that I'm aware of, like the Bolshevik socialism from
That's
Russia.
Bolshevik.
Yep. The nationalist socialism, like the Hitlerian socialism back when Hitler was in power, and then like what we have here, which is like sort of like the welfare socialism. So yeah, I think we mentioned those on like another episode, but
We've probably talked about it a lot
we have, but
since we started this show.
But it raises an interesting question because, like, so all of these secret societies, all these NGOs are full of really wealthy people, really powerful people. Why would the most wealthy people be wanting to talk about redistribution and stuff like that, right? Like, they seemingly have the most to lose. But when you look at, like, what socialism really is if you boil it down to, like, a one-sentence definition, I would call it the abolition of private property, I would say. So
Yes.
so one person doesn't, individual citizens don't own anything, but basically what it's going to do is it's going to consolidate all of the control and all of the ownership into much fewer hands than what it is today. It's going to be these global, NGOs and stuff that own everything and can tell you what to do with what.
Right.
Because it's all their stuff now.
But I thought we were trying to get rid of that.
Get rid of what?
Owning stuff.
Well, yeah, none of them individually own it, but them collectively, they own it.
Oh, well, am I in that collective?
No.
What? How can I get in the club?
Is your name Bill?
Because do you remember from the
It's
world?
Charles.
Is the last name Gates?
It is.
No.
Yeah.
Yep, you're out, man.
Do you need a heat lamp?
Yes.
Oh, okay, then maybe you can stay.
Do you guys remember that World Economic Forum video where they're like, in the future, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy?
No.
They released like a promo where they literally
Yeah.
said
Oh,
that.
actually, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the premise.
Yeah.
I left the video happy. I was like, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, take all
Not.
my stuff.
Well, it's almost like, okay, so on paper, it sounds good. For instance, if all of this equipment that we're using right now in this house that we're in, we didn't work for it. It was just given to us because we requested it because we were going to do something for the community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's some microphones. Here's a computer. Here's a mixer. You guys go do your thing. Y'all can set up in this house here, and y'all do this as long as you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're done, give it back to us, and we'll give it to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what? So we don't own it. We're just using it.
Right.
Is that what we're talking about?
Well, yeah, except imagine, like if we're going in with like a full-blown socialist scenario, imagine all the equipment's a piece of crap because no one takes care of it because no one owns it.
Oh, that's right.
It's probably all broken. And then your podcast, maybe there's someone who's really good.
This button would be broke. I couldn't push it.
Yep.
Because the last guy had it, just screwed it up.
Yep. And then like, let's say you want to produce your podcast because, it's your passion and you're really good at it, but
they don't want you to say certain things.
Yeah, they don't want you to say certain things, so they're not going to give you the power to do that. And even though it's something you're really passionate about, hey, we actually have some guy that he's actually the one that does all the audio engineering on it, and you can't do it yourself because we already got a guy, and that's how it works.
I mean, eventually it would come to a point where somebody would come take it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have any say so in it.
Right.
Wow.
Yep. And
but you'll be happy about it.
I don't know how. That second part of the sentence, I don't know how. You'll be happy.
I don't own this stuff, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
Huh?
You'll have nothing and you'll be happy, basically.
I read a book a long time ago. After I watched the Zeitgeist movie.
Yep.
Familiar with that movie?
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot his name. Peter. Forgot his name. His name's Peter. But he was working with this dude called Jacques Franceau. Jacques Franceau, something like that. Anyway, the guy's dead. He lived down in Florida. Okay. He came up with this thing called the Venus Project. And the Venus Project was designed, or it had a futuristic utopian place where you got rid of the monetary system, and the economics was resource-based economy. Mm-hmm. So everything was based on resources. So you didn't create anything. AI had a lot to do with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Using artificial intelligence to produce everything that we want, and then we wouldn't get paid for anything, but it would just be a society of us always pouring back into the resource-based economy. And we always had access to everything.
I see.
That's kind of like a socialistic state, right?
Yeah.
We're just pouring into this. We don't own anything, but we have access to everything. And there's no money exchanging hands. It's all resource-based.
Yep.
We get, whether it's...
like a big old commune.
Whether it's from the sea, wind turbines, the sun. Well, we get off the whole grid. Anyway... That's what I thought of when you said that, because it reminded me of, like, you're using that computer, that Mac right now.
I want to use it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Right. So you would just have to give it up and then, or go get another one. Because I always thought, like, well, who's making this stuff? You know what I'm saying?
Like
right now, there's a company that makes that.
Yes.
And they sell
Driven
it
by competition and price.
Exactly, which is the market, the free market.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, how would that really work if that was gone? The competition.
You would have to go to work. Everyone would have to go to their specific jobs. Mike would be specifically, his job would be specifically making computers. Yours would be gutting out the sewers. Everyone has a job. Everyone has a place.
Yep.
Don't get out of line.
Yeah.
Don't get out of line.
And there could be people way better than you at your job that are never going to be in that role because of the way it's structured. Like, let's say your job is to, grow corn for everybody, and you're not very good at it. and there's a guy, prior to the installation of the socialist government that's all he did, and he's amazing at it. Doesn't matter. He's digging ditches. That's what we got him assigned to.
Do y'all know that guy? He can really grow corn.
No.
I saw it at his house. He had a corn plant.
You saw nothing.
Okay, drone.
They'd be like, well, the corn you're growing is good enough, and he's actually really good at digging ditches, so we're going to keep him where he's at.
I don't want to live in this world.
I don't either.
What is going on? This just sounds like just bad.
It really is.
What it sounds
Is this
like.
China?
North Korea.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Are they like China?
Worse.
Pretty much worse.
Worse. Oh, yeah. Worse.
So you grow up, you're a kid, you grow up.
There are no kids in North Carolina. In North Korea.
North
you
Carolina.
grow up and you are immediately an adult.
Child labor.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So, and they just like, say you had a family, your boys, it's the state, the government, it will come to your house and go, hey, I want him to work on he's going to be sewing for monkeys.
They usually put him in the military first.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's like another staple of like socialist regimes is like your children aren't really yours; they're the community's.
Yeah. The states.
Wow, the state.
So
they tell you what you're going to work on.
yeah,
Yeah.
You're going to the rice fields today.
yep. Like you're still like a parent, but the government's going to make all the important decisions.
Oh man,
You do all the micromanaging.
Yeah.
Sucks, dude.
I'm just bummed out right now.
I know.
I'm thinking about some dude over there just thinking about his life, and maybe he's heard a glimmer of how people live in the West.
Yeah. And
It's like, how can I get that?
there's an underground where they try to escape.
Really?
Yep.
And they either
And they're
try to-
killing them when they try.
Yeah. They try to escape to South Korea.
Wow.
Yeah, you're
That's
risking your
horrible,
life
man.
when you do that for sure.
Yeah. And not only your life, your family's life.
Yeah, they'll kill your whole family.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they find out that you defect, then they'll go and kill your whole family.
How soft are we right now?
I feel pretty soft.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how much really hardships have we had
None.
when you compare it to these kind of countries?
Dude, yeah.
And then you got these people in our country that slam our country, hate our country. I'm like, have you been there? Have you had that hardship?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't get it.
What is it? You said it like a few episodes ago where it's like good times create soft men create hard times create hard men, something like that.
Yeah.
Hard times
So, like,
create hard men.
So like we're on the point right now
We're
where
soft men.
we're dipping into the hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the soft men.
Yeah.
There's hard times a coming, which is going to create hard men.
There's another quote. Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome.
What?
Who said that?
Bane from
Nice.
Batman.
Dude, nice.
Yeah. Peace has cost.
That is a good one. Dude.
Yeah. Peace has cost you,
You
your
really
strength.
think you're in charge?
Victory has defeated you. That's I love
Victory has defeated you.
that. Yeah.
Why has it defeated you?
Because peace has cost you your strength.
Because
it made us soft.
Oh, you're soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's why Batman got his butt kicked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Ba-
yeah, the betaization, dude.
You really think you're in charge?
It took pace.
I love it when he put his hand on just slightly. Just I'm dead.
And he did.
Yep.
Oh wow. Victory.
Yeah. So
That's a great quote. I'm tweeting that.
Yeah, do it.
so let's get into more.
So
of
what are we
this.
talking? So all of this is Club of Rome.
Yeah, dude. So socialism.
It's not about the climate.
It's not about the climate. AOC's campaign manager has openly said that the Green New Deal, and we've all heard about that piece of legislation, isn't even about the climate. It's about growing and centralizing government.
Yes.
Okay? This is
Yeah.
this is admitted. It's all
And if you don't know, AOC is the big booty Latino.
yeah.
She's a congresswoman from New York City.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, go ahead.
So, and here's another point.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
That's pretty good, actually.
Okay.
That was good.
Roll the R's.
So we mentioned this earlier about like the 12 years left. So they don't even want to argue on the merits of policy anymore. Okay?
Right.
So we've all heard them saying that, we only have 12 years left before it's too late.
Yeah, she said that, right?
She has said that, and it's actually being said on like college campuses. A bunch of people have
And
said
how long
that.
do we have? When
There's once the 12 years are up, it's going to be another 12 years.
It's always, isn't
Al
it?
Gore said this in
In ni-
the
back
early
in the
2000s.
Yeah.
We'll all be dead
What
by
did he say? You
2020.
saw the movie, right?
Dude, yeah. So go back and watch.
What was his date?
Yeah, dude, he said some wild stuff in that. So he's talking about so that came out in 2006. He was projecting things happening in like 2014 in like the 20 teens.
Okay.
And you're talking about like, oh, here's what would happen when the ice caps melt. And he said like when they melt. And it's like, yeah, the water is going to rise.
Water's gonna rise,
It's
yeah.
going to get up to the Statue of Liberty's elbow. And, they released like those movies,
Yeah.
like Day After Tomorrow and
Day
stuff
After
like that,
Tomorrow,
like
Deep Impact.
yeah, like a big wave ripping over New York City and everyone's dead and
And then it froze.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you saw Al Gore going, "I told you."
And then yeah,
And then we saw him getting in his private jet,
taking off.
with briefcases full of money.
And then we saw the horrible CGI wolves
Yeah. So
Wait, what?
in that movie. Those CGI wolves, horrible.
I don't know. It's
I
been
don't
a
know what
while
you're
since
talking
I've seen it, but
Go watch it, and you're gonna go. Yeah, when he was trying to get medicine on the ship that was frozen in New York.
Oh, okay.
It had came inland, and then everything froze.
So I was talking
and
about
then the
one
wolves
movie.
came
And
in.
these wolves got out of the zoo or something.
Oh yeah.
The CGI, I was like, come on, guys,
yeah,
what are y'all doing?
Bad CGI really can ruin a movie.
It will.
So yeah, the 12 years left before it's too late. So the only thing they're concerned about is we have to get going, and then however fast we're going, we need to go faster, and it takes everybody. There's no opting out.
I don't know why that makes me laugh.
It's ridiculous, dude. And here's a way to think about what climate policy really is, because they all kind of fit the same mold here. It's a massive increase to central planning, massive redistributions, and basically establishing a bean counter that gets put into place to track every aspect of your life. Okay? It's a tyranny, and it seeks to establish an unelected socialist global governance. Bean counter.
Bean counter.
Let's talk about that bean counter. So we talked about this before.
Sounds racist.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like Mexican.
No.
It's not? Okay.
No, dude. So yeah,
But Byron can say that because he's half Mexican.
yeah,
Well, I'm adopted. I could be.
you could very well be. But yeah, a bean counter on your life. So basically, it keeps track of a carbon credit score. Let's say. Okay. So we've mentioned that it keeps track
Yeah.
of how many miles did you drive this year, like when you're filing your taxes or something. Or just right on the spot, it'll be built into the price of gas. It'll be, built into the price of goods that they'll put a climate price tag on. Basically, they'd be able to control everything.
And because because you have to get an electric car,
Yeah.
it uploads all its data
Yeah.
in real time.
Yep.
And if you drive too much, they can just turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just won't start.
Your carbon footprint has been exceeded.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it'll just drive you home.
Add
and-
more money.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll just drive you home from wherever you're
I thought
at.
I had 12 more years. What?
It just charge you for it and then not work anymore until the next month when your climate credits,
Oh, wow.
Get a few more.
Hey, Mike, my credits are back. Can you take me back down to the interstate in my car
Yeah, seriously.
so I can get it back?
It'll be like that. You'll try to get on a plane and they'll be like, "Sorry, sir, you can't."
Right. You've traveled too much.
Yeah. Yep. So
That's what the Green New Deal's about?
it's the foot in the door for it. Yes. All these climate policies are.
Now, that legislation did not get passed, right?
No.
Do you guys know how to ride horses?
No.
No, I'm kind of terrified.
I don't know if I
horses.
ever would get on top of a horse.
I'm kind of scared of them. And they sense it on me, too.
Yeah, I don't want to end up with like a broken
But I
back
think
or
if I had
it's
to,
too
that would
powerful.
we would have to go back to horses. Seriously.
I would walk alongside it maybe. I don't know if I'd get on top of it. Too
I would
high off
have
the
to.
ground.
I would. Yes,
You
I would.
wouldn't be on
I
a
would
horse
pull
without
on
a shirt.
Oh
I
heck
mean,
yeah!
maybe for a quick photo op, and then I'm hopping right off, dude.
I've been on it a couple times. It's not bad.
I've been on a camel.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, you have.
Yes.
wow!
You sure have.
Yep.
What a story.
Have y'all seen that that meme? It's not a meme. Maybe it is a meme. It's a video of husband and wife. They're really overweight, and they're getting on this camel, and the camel cannot get up.
Oh.
It's like it finally gets up, and then it just falls down. Oh, that's sad. But the dude was holding on like a boss.
Yeah.
I mean, because the camel was going straight down, and he was like, I was like, dude, the abs on that dude.
He wasn't going anywhere.
No, he was just kind of straight forward. I was like,
You're
wow.
gonna have to send it to me.
I'll find it. Actually, D-Lo sent it to me. I'll get it to you.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll see it after the show. And it'll remind you of carbon credits.
It will.
Yep.
Green New Deal.
Yep.
So it didn't get passed.
No.
She's still spewing it, though. We got 12 years left.
Yes. So, yeah, dude. So I don't really so you'll hear about a lot of this climate alarmism, and it's got a huge amount of support from millennials because of Inconvenient Truth.
Wow.
Gen Z, because they hear probably 10x what I heard when I was their age.
Yeah.
It's really popular.
I don't
on
want to work anymore.
college campuses and stuff like that, and they kind of feel like they have like the moral high ground when they're talking about these things. But like what people need to realize is like if you're a skeptic like we are of the distortion of science and stuff that's going on with the global warming climate stuff, you actually have the moral high ground.
Yes.
These people are trying to foist horrible legislation that's going to basically ruin your life.
Yeah.
You're coming out the gate right there.
Yeah.
Dude, they
intense.
are. Yeah,
I
dude.
felt it.
So, the distortion of science, following the patterns of fascists of the past. I almost don't like using the word fascist because
they use it so much.
Yes, they use it so much. But it's sort of like that thing where, you call somebody what you actually are to deflect,
And that's what they do all the time.
Yes. And proposing policies that would be harmful to millions and millions of people. Millions and millions. So we would basically, let's think of like the moral case for fossil fuels here.
Okay.
We built our nation on fossil fuels, right?
Right.
We sure did, yeah.
Everything comes from that. Now we're going to pull the ladder up and not let developing nations do the same. Now we're going to impose all these climate restrictions on them, not let them get up off the ground.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Is that what they're doing?
They would have to.
Because it's a global solution,
Yeah.
right? So nowhere on Earth can, do these things. So they got to have all these same measures that we do. So if you're, some developing nation in Africa or something, and you're not abiding by these global climate protocols that the Club of Rome is trying to install, then that's going to be big consequences.
Yeah. Either you get a horse or you're going to get a Tesla.
That's crazy.
And I don't know about getting a Tesla. So they're going to probably get a horse.
Yeah. So, developing nations would stay at whatever state they're at. They would never get a chance to.
They would. They would reverse.
Yeah, they'd go back to the Stone Age.
Yeah, they
You
would.
go back down. Yeah.
Yep. And I was watching something on John Stossel's channel where he tried to hold like a debate on global warming. He invited like 3 professors that were skeptics, and then he invited like 3 people. I think Al Gore was one of them, and then like a couple other people. None of those people showed up. So John Stossel basically tried to take their positions and argue from their side, and
he couldn't do
then no, not really. Yeah, I mean, like all the stuff they talk about,
The science is there.
right? Exactly. So yeah, they talk about things like that, and basically when they say, have you heard there's like a 96% or 97% of scientists agree, all that stuff? Have you heard them say that?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I've heard them say that, and I've also heard that they take models and manipulate them
yes,
to show that in their favor.
yeah,
But the real models are, they're like, no, this is how it is.
right.
And I've heard that they've changed their stance. It's not global warming anymore because that went out the window.
Yeah. Climate
to
change.
climate change,
Yep. Yeah. So
which is the seasons.
yeah, the seasons, and then
Happens
and then
every year.
also
Yeah.
like global trends over time. But like the amount of information that we have is such a narrow sliver of time.
Right.
And what people really think it is it's like
Right.
a global cycle
Yeah,
that humans may contribute to it in like a tiny little sliver, but like it's not like a fart in the wind, basically. like
right.
Like-
Like as big as this planet is,
right.
you have the gall to think you're changing something about how this planet's going down.
Right. And
We're just a flea on a dog.
And they have even said, like, even if we're wrong, still doing all this stuff is the right thing to do. So it's like, okay, you basically just admitted, like, you're not sure even yourself. Which, I mean, as we've read the quotes, they kind of invented the idea and are like, okay, this is what the actual agenda is, but we're going to, put this forth as, it's wild stuff, dude. And, yeah, I don't know, because when I was growing up, I thought it was all legit. I did.
You did?
Yeah, for sure. When I watched,
Well, I mean, it was adults talking to you. Like, well, sure, they know what they're talking about.
yeah, because I think I was in like 9th grade, and I knew who Al Gore was. I knew he was a former vice president, and the way he was talking about it, he was like scaring the crap out of people.
Well, yeah, you
Talking
felt
about
like,
the
my
oceans-
gosh, we're doomed.
Yeah, he's like, the ocean's going to come up 20
We've got to
feet.
do something.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, don't make plans for the future. You'll be
I
dead.
don't get. That's what I don't get. You said all this stuff. Everybody that says this stuff in the past, and you never bring it up again in front of them so they can address it. The hypocrisy.
Right. Yeah, dude. And
So wait. So what did you do? Like,
Well, you felt doomed.
I mean, I wasn't like, one of these college kids that are out like marching and doing like Greta Thunberg and all this stupid
got your
stuff. I mean,
torches.
I just believed it. I was like, okay, this is something that I believe in. I mean,
Well, I guess I'm not going to make it.
right. And I like, the way that they frame the argument is like that moral high ground thing, right? So they assume the moral high ground, and you kind of believe it because you're like, okay, who could possibly be against this? Who would want their children to grow up in some dystopian world where it's so polluted that,
Yeah.
no life can exist?
It's like Mad Max.
Right. And
thrive.
what I didn't realize is I was like accepting a whole bag of goods that hadn't been proven to me. I was like, okay, they're not arguing like, hey, let's grow up in a pollution world. Like they're arguing, hey, like we're not actually causing what they're saying we're causing.
Gotcha.
That's what wasn't clear to me back then. And I don't know when I like parted ways with it. I think sometime in college. So there was like
there was a sure enough belief system, and then at some point you were like, you probably started asking questions, or you saw something that wasn't right.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe the waters hadn't risen. You were like, wait a minute, I thought we were supposed to be dead by now.
Right. Yes. Stuff like that. And, being, in this, having my foot in the conspiracy world a little bit from that age, I started to hear the other side of the story because people were aware of it back then and saw where it was going and were blowing the whistle on it. So I think, it took me until college to kind of realize, but yeah, let's keep along with the Club of Rome.
I can't believe we're
here.
talking about the Club of Rome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. The only thing I thought about right now is when I was younger, I used to think, okay, because I believed that too. Like, oh yeah, we're polluting. I get it.
Yeah.
Because I used to watch Captain Planet. Remember that show?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yes.
And so, or what are that animated show with the fairies?
Fairly
Tinkerbell?
Odd Parents?
Fern Gully.
Oh,
Fern Gully.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's a classic.
That was
I've never seen
spooky.
that.
Oh, you need to go watch it.
Yeah, the sludge, dude.
Yeah, dude.
He had to eat all the pollution.
Yeah. And, whatever. And then I always thought, like,
You
hey,
killing the trees.
why don't we get all the trash and just shoot it up in space?
Yeah.
And like that was something I thought about. And then maybe a couple of years ago, this one dude was on a podcast and he was like, "Hey man, why don't we just shoot it up in space?" And he was talking to a scientist. And it's like that's not gonna work. But anyway, that's all I was thinking right now.
Okay.
How dumb I
Why
was to
wouldn't it-
shoot it up in space.
Why wouldn't it work?
I don't know.
It would just
Space
too
trash.
expensive to do that.
Space garbage.
Space
It would
garbage.
it would mess with like our satellite
Or ozone.
stuff like that.
Yeah. Or it could just
Could
be
you
too
imagine
expensive. I don't know.
could you imagine we did that and then we all of a sudden had rings like Saturn
That'd be awesome.
with garbage bags?
That would be pretty wild.
That'd be awesome. And we couldn't get out of our
Right, we couldn't get
because the belt was just so much trash, so much plastic.
What if it saved us from like an asteroid or something?
Ooh.
Like an asteroid is
yeah.
coming and
That's how
then it
you
just got
turned it.
and
tangled.
deflected.
It just got tangled up in the trash.
I
Yeah.
like how you turned that.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, like unopened Coke bottles would start spewing when the asteroid hit, and it would just knock it off its trajectory.
And it would miss us.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, you were onto something.
That was.
You
Yeah,
saved
dude.
the planet.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's talk about another thing that the Club of Rome is very passionate about:
Oh, what's that?
population reduction.
We're off YouTube. Okay.
That is true. Yep. So they strongly suggest that reducing the human population is the best solution to our problems.
Wow.
So as we talked about at the beginning of this, when we were going through the limits to growth, population is the one thing that they were pointing the finger at the most. Okay. And the thing to realize is there's very little evidence to back up their claims. So there's no data that definitively shows reducing the number of humans would have any effect on the growth or reduction of ice caps, ocean level rising, the rising or cooling of Earth temperatures, nothing. So they haven't shown us anything like that. They've showed us a computer model from the 1970s.
Of course.
And then iterations on that computer model that show the same thing. Anytime there's like, here's our evidence, and it's a computer model. It's like, okay, let's see the parameters.
Look,
of that.
yeah.
Well, like what you put into that. Look, show the work here.
Right. Yeah, who created that? Al Gore. Oh.
Right.
With Greta.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Good you see them riding around.
yes, I could totally see that on a private
in
jet.
an EV, yeah.
Yep. And
I'd love to see them riding around and they lose their charge and they have to walk.
Yeah. Seriously.
Would you pick them up?
No.
Okay.
I would in a big old diesel.
I don't pick up hitchhikers.
Hey, y'all smell that, boys? That's diesel.
Yeah, it's diesel.
Roll Tide.
And so their solution proposal brings forth an obvious issue. Who gets to decide which populations get reduced?
Bill Gates.
Who is able to have children? These two questions, right?
Well, they're doing that already in China.
We've
The
seen-
one-child policy.
Yeah, which I think they've had to backtrack on that.
Yeah, now they have two.
Are you serious?
Two now.
Because it created a problem. Yeah, because like basically everyone wanted to have a boy, and so it created like female infanticide. They were just aborting female pregnancies as soon as perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And then until you get a boy, and then that's it. And then you have basically a whole generation of boys never able to marry because there's no girls.
There's no girl.
Yeah. So it creates a horribly lopsided economy and, a whole bunch of problems.
That's weird.
Yeah.
How-
To that they would take the females from North Korea, and they would
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
And then let them...
Let them mate with the boys that had no girls over there?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's weird. So they let them
Wow.
leave North Korea?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just for that little mission or whatever?
Or would they keep them over there to raise the child?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, so it creates like a whole bunch of problems.
Jeez.
And I was trying to find like an exact number because I know the Georgia Guidestone says maintain the human population at under 500 million in perpetual harmony with, the economy basically.
Huh.
And let's just say right now that I think there's like 7.8 or 7.9 billion. So like let's just round that up to 8 billion.
Okay.
So that means like line 16 people up, 15 of those people need to go
Oh, so we're already over the threshold of the Georgia Guidestones.
by a long shot. So,
Okay.
so only 1/16 of us get to stay. So the 15 out of 16 people need to go if we're going to hit 500 million, which is what the Georgia Guidestone said before they were destroyed.
Just so the planet will survive.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yep. That's, and there's no evidence for
And we don't
how
know.
they arrived at that number.
Yeah, and then who's the person that makes that decision?
Yeah, who's going to decide? Exactly.
Why don't you do it?
Correct.
The person that decides. Oh, why don't you go down?
Oh, that'll never be the case. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the whole
because I got money
the whole club of
and I
Rome will be
believe
just
in
fine.
climate change.
Yeah. If anything, we got to get rid of you
Oh my
non-believers.
gosh!
Yep. And
How dare you?
so yeah, and then another thing is, birth control and abortion is being pushed on women of developing nations. They don't want it, but it is because of all this climate stuff. And some good question here. So how did we arrive at the correlation of CO2 and rising Earth temperature? It's because it's something that can be directly tied to us. Despite CO2 being very beneficial in many ways, plants breathe it. That's something that's taught to us.
I just exhaled.
Yeah, the whole CO2 cycle, that's taught to us in elementary school. How, we breathe in oxygen, exhale CO2.
Right.
Plants do the opposite.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Wow.
And
But to that,
Sounds like a give and take.
just playing devil's advocate.
Okay,
here.
go
but
ahead.
If we're
Do it.
deforcing major,
yeah, that's a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
and then now the CO2 is contributing to that, then it's kind of
But I thought they were I thought they had farms that they were getting rid of.
from what I read that they're not planning enough to keep up with
Oh,
deforestation.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought they had.
especially like in like the Amazon.
Yep. So if you do that, yes. Because then the CO2 has nowhere to go.
Right.
Right.
So-
And then
so-
you got the dang fires in California burning everything.
Does that fall under the umbrella of climate change? I would assume so, right?
Yeah, probably.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we could get on board with that, right? We
Yeah.
Could, hey,
So-
you know what?
So yeah, we won't throw the
Yeah,
baby
stop
out
cutting
with
the trees
bathwater.
down.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Fern Gully. Back to Fern Gully.
Yeah, so maintaining the CO2, the CO2 cycle is important. So yes, I would agree. But yeah, it is very beneficial because it can help our planet become greener and it'll make plants actually more water resilient as well. That's another thing that CO2 will do. Yes.
Water resilient.
Yep. But yeah, they can basically point to CO2 and say it's a problem and that human activity is the reason why. Okay.
And you got to go.
Yep. So CO2, they can say, okay, it is a greenhouse gas. Yes, Jason just explained why, but there's very easy ways to innovate and make it not so much of a problem, right? Natural ways. Plant trees. Plants can help us, okay? So
we're surrounded by plants right now, by the way.
We are. They do good work in the home. I think everyone should have a house.
My wife doesn't like them.
Yeah, they're natural air purifiers.
They are.
Mm-hmm. So if you ever go to a house or an apartment that has tons and tons of plants, you can tell the difference right away.
In the air,
the quality of the air,
okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
My grandmother, it was like a forest in her apartment, and I could tell the difference every time. Yeah, exactly. Every time I went in there, I could tell the difference in the air quality, night and day.
Yeah.
I'll run that by my wife. She doesn't like the plants because of the look. But if it's going to increase our air quality, because all these are my daughters sitting around us.
Yep. Yeah, you got a big monstera here in the corner.
Is that what you call it?
This one right here, yeah, that one's doing.
So you know that?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, I thought it was an elephant ear.
Yeah, I think that's a.
But monstera sounds right.
Yep.
I think these are mother's pearls right here.
Yep. Yeah.
String of pearls.
String of pearls. Yep.
Wow, Club of Rome. How did we get off on that?
Yeah.
CO2.
Yep. And let's talk about the abolition of private property.
Oh no.
Okay, so this is another thing that climate alarmists really are in favor of. So eminent domain laws, these already exist, right? So these are basically where if the government needs your property for some reason, they can take it from you. First they'll offer to buy it, but if you don't want to sell, they can just take it.
Right. If they want to build a plant or they want to build a road through your property, they have the final say so.
Yep. Yeah.
Who signed that?
I don't know. It sounds like a terrible idea. It
is.
Yep.
Who's on board with that?
Biden.
Yeah.
How old is he? Sheesh. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, climate alarmists and private property of citizens. So yeah, this is expanded by climate alarmists and private property will be seized from citizens basically.
Okay.
And then when you start getting into
cities,
yeah, it'll force you into cities. The suburbs will disappear. And the world will be collectivized, like we mentioned. Have you heard of 15-minute cities? They're talking about this in like Europe and some places.
No.
It's basically where like you'll live in a city and you can get anywhere you need to go within 15 minutes.
I've heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, which basically means you're going to be living on like the 25th floor. They'll just build up, and then you know everything's so close together because it's all vertical.
Oh, kind of like that movie Ready Player One.
Yep.
They were all stacked on each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And
those were containers, right? Like shipping containers, just stacked on each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly.
But
So-
they have that already in like India and China. They have that style.
Living in that, really? Wow.
Have you heard of the one thing they're talking about? I think it's called like the line. It's like a concept that they want to build. It's like a big long line.
Yes, I saw that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like that. So like I'll send you guys the video after this, but yeah, if you look it up, I think it's called the line, and it's like a way to basically build a city very linearly. Like it's super narrow.
And everything's indoors.
Yeah, everything is indoors.
Wow.
And you can get to anything you need like within just like minutes of walking. So there's no cars or anything, and it's kind of
it's kind of like an indoor mall.
And it kind of feels like sort of like a nicer prison. Yeah.
Like what the politicians go to.
I guess.
When they go to prison, they go to the country club
It
prison.
kind of sounds cool. Like,
You think, but you can't leave.
Yeah, but see,
you can't.
see, that's
leave.
how they get you.
Oh,
It sounds
man.
cool. It sounds cool. Oh, I just go down here and get the.
But do I need to leave? What do
Yeah.
I need to leave?
Well, the
for?
Xbox.
I have
is
everything there.
Xbox is just a couple of things down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they have a Target down the hallway.
Yep. See, people are going to say that same thing.
And it's in
Do
a
I want to go
line.
outside? No.
no way. dude.
Vitamin D. Where is it?
Yeah, they're going to be.
There's
you're
a pill.
You're not going to go out
I have a
there, dude.
supplement for that. I don't need the sun.
I'm triple vaccinated.
So they're going to have they're going to have areas that are basically off limits to development that will be expanding endlessly, and eventually, like, areas where we're not even going to be able to go.
Like Area 51.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fenced off. You're not getting in here.
Yeah, there will just be no-go zones because it's, it's...
I don't want this world.
It's the
What is
ecosystem,
this?
dude.
I don't want this.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
I'm
I
intrigued.
can't believe we're talking about Club of Rome.
Yeah, dude.
The Secret Society Club of Rome. I thought this was going to be we're drinking blood in the back room, cutting our fingers off. But no, we're talking about Al Gore running rampant around ice caps, in the water going up to the Statue of Liberty.
With Greta.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I guess we never...
This is amazing.
We never went through members. So yeah, Al Gore, like you mentioned, he's been involved. Bill Gates, Mikhail Gorbachev, Alexander King, David Rockefeller.
Of course.
And then Pierre Trudeau. That's Justin Trudeau's dad.
What?
Yeah,
that guy's beta.
Which makes total sense, right?
It does.
Yeah, so one good thing that I'd like to recommend to all our readers is go check out the website.
You mean listeners?
Yeah, sorry, I said readers. Yeah, my bad.
Hey, if you are reading this on the blog, that's for you.
Yes. Yeah, go check out scienceunderattack.com. Okay.
Okay.
So
check that
so
out.
there's this guy, Ralph B. Alexander. He's got a PhD in physics from Oxford. He's a science writer. He goes through all this stuff and he goes through the science and he presents it in a way that's really, digestible for the layman. And it's basically everything you've ever heard of, from climate alarmist topics ranging from weather extremes, climate change, ocean levels, ice in the Arctic and Antarctic, the CO2 hypothesis, all this stuff. Check it out. It's a really good read. He has got a lot of really good articles about it. So it's a good way to balance out what you're hearing from everywhere else, basically.
And that's a book?
It's a website.
Oh, website. Okay, I'll put that website in our description too. So if you are listening to this on our Spotify app, you'll see there'll be a link in the description.
Yep.
And you can just click on it and go to this website.
But yeah, there you have it, guys. So I mean, these guys are the main drivers of, the climate hysteria. Okay. And yeah, it's not good stuff.
I really didn't think that we were going this direction when we're digging up this research on Club of Rome.
Yeah. Yep.
For some reason, I thought it was more tied to the Knights Templar in the Club of Malta.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not.
Yeah, they're kind of... do you remember when we talked about...
Everybody's got their organization.
Yeah.
Like the group, the Bilderberg, they're doing their thing. The Trilateral Commission, they're doing their thing. And then the Club of Rome, we got the climate thing.
Yeah. They're like...
It's like everybody's got their own little thing they're trying to do to make the globalist.
Yeah, these guys are like eco-terrorists, basically.
Yeah.
Like eco-fascists. And, yeah, we got to really stop the carbon credit score from happening.
Yeah, we don't want that, Elon Musk.
We don't want that. Let's innovate and do better that way. That's how we've always done it, and that's all we need. We don't need a global, unelected socialist governance that will lead us into a tyranny, basically.
Because I want to keep my microphones.
Right. Yeah.
I'll take good care of them.
Yeah, you'll take good care of them.
I'm not gonna mess them up.
You don't want the junky ones that everyone shares.
Right.
Yeah. Think about it this way.
Jason's kind of in it.
Yeah, dude, he's thinking about it. It's like what happened.
Look, he's still thinking about the line.
Dude, it just sounds
The
awesome.
Xbox is right down there.
It's right down there.
I wouldn't have to see the sun.
Except you're like 500th in line for the Xbox.
All he's thinking is, I don't have to go to Costco.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, it's built right in, dude.
It's awesome.
Yep. So yeah, crazy stuff. But that's it.
Wow.
That's secret societies.
Dude, that finishes up our secret societies. I hope everybody's enjoyed it as much as we have. I know people have, because 2 of our secret societies is in our top 10 right now. And the Masons have taken the 3rd spot. Or was it number 2 spot? No, it's taken the 3rd spot.
They're on the podium, yeah.
So it's they're high up there. Everybody's really enjoying the secret societies. Hope you have too. So
I know I did.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. So we got more topics coming. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, and the link is in the bio. You can find out where you can find us everywhere. We have a website called bottomofThat.com. You can go there and listen to our podcast, and you can also follow our blog, which you'll see all of our research notes and our descriptions that we have for what we're talking about on the blog. and you can listen to it there as well. If you're listening on YouTube and you like this episode, please share, like, and subscribe, and leave a comment. If you're listening on any of the other podcasting platforms, turn on notifications so you never miss when we publish an episode. If you didn't like this, I thank you for listening this long. Tune in next week when you might hear Byron say, "Give me back my horse!"